When we think about trust, we usually think of it as, well, a promise, something we negotiate. But what if, for our most complex projects, trust could be something else entirely? What if it could be a mathematical proof? That's the wild idea behind a new kind of infrastructure we're diving into today, social helix. And this quote right here, it's the core metaphor for everything. Think about it. In a world of triangles, a simple two-party deal, you can negotiate trust. But when you get into a world of quadrangles, these big, messy, multi-party systems, promises just aren't enough. You need something way more solid. You need something geometrically certain, where trust isn't just hoped for, it's actually verified. So what's a quadrangle in the real world? Well, imagine a massive project to restore a river ecosystem. You've got landowners, tech companies, investors, and regulators. Or think about a global supply chain with manufacturers, shipping companies, and retailers. These are those complex partnerships where a whole bunch of independent players all have to do their part for the whole thing to work. That's what we mean by quadrangular collaboration. Okay, but here's the catch. These big, complex systems, they are incredibly fragile. The old school ways we try to build trust just completely fall apart at this scale. And that exposes the entire collaboration to some really predictable and often fatal risks. First up, you've got capture risk. This is the classic fox guarding the henhouse problem, right? If one of the players in the game is also the referee, you can bet that sooner or later, the rules are going to start bending in their favor. And that just shatters the neutrality everyone else was counting on. So what's the alternative? A central authority? Maybe? Well, that leads to problem number 2, latency risk. The moment you put a central judge in the middle of everything, you create a massive bottleneck. When you need things to happen in real time at machine speed, waiting around for some central server to give the thumbs up, it just kills the whole purpose of the collaboration. And this leads us to a really nasty paradox, opacity risk. See, if we don't have a central system, we feel like we need to constantly watch each other to build trust. But that constant surveillance, it destroys the very independence, the sovereignty that made all these partners valuable in the first place. It's a lose-lose situation. So if those are the fatal risks, what on earth is the solution? Well, this is where social helix comes in. And it's really important to get this. It is not another platform. It's not another service. It's designed to be a geometric immune system, a totally new kind of entity built from the ground up to fight off these specific problems. Here's what that means. Social helix doesn't handle your transactions or tell anyone what to do. It's a constitutional anchor. It is the trust infrastructure. It's not a player, it's not the referee, it's more like the immutable laws of physics that govern the game itself. And it does this with a brilliant concept called sovereign compartmentalization. Basically, nobody gets to see the whole picture. Social helix can only see the geometric proofs that everyone's following the rules, not your sensitive business data. And each participant, they only see the bare minimum they need to do their job. This is how you get trust without total surveillance. It all boils down to 3 core functions. 1, it holds the patents for this trust architecture, so no one can mess with them. 2, it's the guardian, making sure every collaboration sticks to the core geometric rules. And 3, it provides the tools for everyone to verify things for themselves instantly without a middleman. All right, so that's the what. Now let's get into the how. Because this whole thing is designed to work at system speed, not the speed of lawyers and accountants. Let's go back to that river restoration project. A technician finishes their work, and that action is immediately signed into a cryptographic hash. Just think of it like a unique, totally tamper-proof digital fingerprint for that one specific action. Now the utility company that needs to pay for that work can instantly verify that fingerprint. No paperwork, no waiting. This validation then kicks off a chain of proofs that get recorded on the constitutional ledger. And the coolest part? The system uses something called zero-knowledge proofs to constantly report that it's healthy and working perfectly, all without ever revealing anyone's private data. It's completely seamless. So what's the result of all this? This is the real payoff. We start to move away from a world of fragile, negotiated trust and into a future that's built on verifiable, mathematical proof. And this kind of provable trust is a huge deal for everyone involved. For legal teams, it de-risks the entire collaboration. For tech architects, it means they can finally build systems that securely talk to each other. For leaders, it means you can actually partner with competitors without fear of being taken advantage of. And for regulators, they get transparent oversight without needing to do invasive audit. The economic model is just as smart. It's built around something called the algorithmic coherent dividend. Here's how it works. A full 98% of the value created goes directly to the people and organizations doing the actual work. The other 2% acts as a kind of metabolic fee that keeps the entire system healthy and secure. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial for keeping the system neutral. Social Helix itself, as the nonprofit anchor, is constitutionally banned from touching that 98%. Its compensation comes from a tiny slice of that 2% metabolic fee. This means its only incentive, its only goal is to preserve the geometric health of the whole network, not to play favorites. And look, this isn't just some far-off theory. There's a real path forward. We're moving from this past tangled up in messy contracts and distrust through the current work of building this new kind of sovereign infrastructure towards a huge milestone in 2026, the first real-world demonstration of a geometric proof. And when that proof happens, it's not just a technical test. It's a real demonstration of 4 completely game-changing ideas: that competitors can work together safely, that value can flow automatically based on math, that trust can come directly from cryptography instead of a central authority, and that a system can prove its own integrity without anyone having to watch over its shoulder. This really brings us back to the fundamental philosophy of Social Helix. Its success isn't measured like a normal tech company by how many transactions it processes. No, its success is measured by one thing: whether the fundamental geometry of trust is preserved, allowing these amazing collaborations to actually work. At the end of the day, Social Helix exists to be the bedrock. It's the layer of trust that simply cannot be captured, cannot be corrupted, and cannot be compromised. It is, quite literally, the geometric immune system that protects the health of our most important and ambitious projects. So, I'll just leave you with this question. In a world facing challenges so complex they demand totally new levels of cooperation, what becomes possible when the trust we need is no longer a fragile promise, but an unbreakable mathematical proof?